Yo, it's Friday night, 9 p.m. sharp. You know what time it is.
Narcocop and Timothy hitting you with that Lambo energy.
He's Mike by name, but the streets call Narcocop. Used to bust dealers, now he's busting long shots. Retired badge, now he's bad with the bets. Octagon fiend, cashing slips, no regrets. Friday night fight, Seki poured on ice. Lambo Plays Podcast, breaking down the price. Got parlays, KO, subs in round 3. Split decision magic, cash it like a G. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KO's a B, round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Tim Troiano, lotion in hand. Tennis coach by day, fight fan of the land. Watching WMMA, yeah, you know the drill. Playing with himself, just joking, but still. Impressions fly, Katona in the house. Rodrigues Jr squeaking, Tim's loud like a mouse. Cornholio vibes, he's stealing the show. Narcos like bruh, but they still go toe to toe. Round 2 chaos, round 3 gold. Split decisions, bets unfold. Side case sipping, parlays lit. Lambo energy, never quit. Lambo Plays, it's a wild parade. Long shots flying, getting that paid. Tim with impressions, Narco's got the locks. Whisper bet of the week, gonna shock your socks. Lambo Plays, the odds go cray. Spin that wheel, it's a betting ballet. KOSOB, round 2 or 3. Hit that split, cashing big LFG. Narcocop, Timmy T, Friday nights, the Lambo Plays Podcast. Where long shots live large and splits hit harder. We out. We out. We out.
We are back. Lambo Plays Podcast, episode 178, UFC Oklahoma City. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Cornholio, or whatever. You had a new nickname last week. I forgot what it was.
It was the Catonaverse last week.
No. Somebody gave you a new nickname. You're like, oh, that's not a bad nickname. I forgot what it was.
Tyrannosaurus something. Yeah.
We're back. Last week, heartbreaker. Terrence McKinney couldn't fucking finish the deal in round 1. I mean, we would have hit a very nice Lambo parlay if fucking Terrence McKinney just kept punching instead of going for an RNC, or Kerry Hatley didn't have a fucking whole flask of alcohol before the fight, because he decided to stop it really fast for one guy, but didn't stop it fast for the other guy. So kind of unlucky, honestly. It was looking like it was going to get stopped. He looked like he was going to jump in. I'm like already counting my cash. It was like 4,000 more. And sure enough, he doesn't stop it. And we know the rest is history with Terrence McKinney. We did get live bets in that spot, which was very good. Big numbers on Bobby Green. We had a lot of big numbers last week, and we hit a lot of live bets. This week, some good fights, some not so good fights. We got some interesting prospects this week as well. We got the main event of, the King of Africa, Kamaru Usman versus Dricus du Plessis. There is some bad blood. I don't know how much. I mean, I'm pretty sure there is some bad blood. There's a lot of shit being talked from DDP about he's the true African champion and all this other stuff, and kind of disrespecting Usman and Adesanya back in the day. But, it wasn't that. I don't think it was a lot of tension at face-offs. It seemed like they were just kind of in their face, but nothing really crazy. 12 fights, Tim. Last week was not so good for me very good live. Would have been very good if McKinney finished round 1. But, yeah, we're back this week. How do you feel about this card?
Yeah, we were talking about pre-show a little bit. Just I think there's going to be some exciting like kind of finishes in this fight. In this card, I just think there's a bunch of violence potentially, and some good matchups too. Some binary fights that usually end up in some violence.
Yeah, we're gonna run back that Lambo parlay like we did last week. That's the one that almost hit, actually, the one where we discussed with the chat. That was the one that almost hit. But all right, let me go over to my chat. Shout out the chat. First one in here, it's Dixon. He says, Narco and Tim, I don't want you guys losing any sleep over this at night. So I wanted to remind you all that in 2026, y'all still have the hottest MMA intro song all of YouTube. It's becoming iconic. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Dixon. Shout out to Bufu on the beats. He's the one that did that song, so I'll give him a shout out here. Azure with the busy combat sports weekend. We thank you all for joining Narcocop and Tim. Please hit the like. Thank you guys. And know your Discord will be hopping. I appreciate you, Azure. Thank you very much. Elijah one, let's effing go. Mushroom. What's up, Narco and Tim? Let's get these Lambos. Yes, sir. Jackie Blaine says huge hits last week, gents. Cost the sub, a few round one KOs. Ferocious at -120. Live in round 2. Legends Only MMA says, what's up, fellas? Let's cash some tickets. The AO7 for UFC Oklahoma. It's only right that Leroy Duncan channels his inner tornado. I mean, I don't think he can channel his inner tornado. This guy's a fucking walking tornado. So I don't think he can channel any of it for OKC. He's going to let it out, actually, in OKC. They tend to have a lot of tornadoes, and he should have like a nickname. Something like, tornado or spinning or monsoon or some kind of spinning nickname, right? Don't you think?
Yeah,
I think Duncan spins more than anybody on the entire roster. It's got to be.
Travolta. That'll be his nickname.
Yeah. Rain says, I got a Lambo, Usman decision, gun KO, Ezra sub, 46-1. We'll talk about that later. Fireside, how are you doing? Dan Quirk says, Lambo parlays are hitting OKC tomorrow. I appreciate that. I would love it. MMA Tardo Snap, we are live. Big Narco Taco Tim this week. Let's smash it. I think Big MMA Tard gave you a nickname, actually. So you're Taco Tim this week, Tim. That's your new nickname, Taco Tim. Can you change it? Bloom Dog, what's up, my man? MMA Tard says he called you Triceratops, Tim. Maybe that's what it was. Armink says would have hit 800 on a $10 parlay. That's disgusting. Mitali says bad card to be Tim's lotion bottle. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about bad card. Maybe in a couple of spots, but we've had cards where it's the local CVS ran out of lotion because of Tim. So this is not one of them. Climb by finish. Don't sleep on it. She trains with Aaron. Have seen everything Tabitha can bring. Aileen Perez's butthole. Let's go. Spavron says this card sucks, kind of. Boogie Down, what's up, my man? Tim DePetris says feels like a Lambo week. All right. 129 people in here. Please, before we move on, hit that like, subscribe, notifications on, all that good stuff. I did drop a full card breakdown. It's in my YouTube, on my YouTube channel, so you can go there and check that out. Hit the like, subscribe there, whatever. All right, Tim, first fight of the night. Are you ready here? It is in the featherweight division. It is the 7-0 Ezra Elliott versus the 5-0 Damian Anderson. And currently, I don't know if this is the price, is it? No, Damian Anderson
It's come down a little bit.
24, and Ezra Elliott is down to plus 105. 2 prospects, 2 undefeated guys, 2 guys on short notice. 1 guy has an alien ear. If you can spot it, Tim. One of his ears is an alien ear. Yeah, but what do you think of this fight? I mean, an incredible fight to make. Maybe kind of stupid from the UFC's part, like 2 really good young prospects. But, I mean, maybe Anderson's not so young at 29, but still, I would consider him a prospect.
A good matchup. I agree. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think Damian Anderson is coming up in a weight class for this one as well. He's usually like 135, and Elliott's a natural 145er from what I remember. And I think Damian's got like probably better boxing, but I think the physicality edge is with Ezra in this fight. I think also Ezra's got like, they both have very good jiu-jitsu. I think Ezra's got more like meat and potatoes type jiu-jitsu and I think Damian kind of goes for some like kind of flashier shit and leg locks and heel hooks and shit like that, which I don't necessarily like in this particular fight. It's a close fight. I went back and forth in this one a little bit, but I think early, I think Ezra's got an edge early, and I think Damian's probably got an edge late. But I'm going to go with Ezra sub and Ezra sub 1, sub 2. I do think there's going to be just a heavy amount of grappling, and I think Damian's going to probably throw up some weird subs. I think the ground and pound and the physicality will probably give Ezra some opportunities to get a back take or something like that and get a rear naked choke.
Yeah, I mean, I taped this very early, right when it came out, when they announced it, and I was kind of impressed with both guys. Ezra is going to be the bigger guy in the cage. Both guys, actually, it's weird. Both guys have fought at 35, and both guys have fought at 45. Anderson started out as a 45er, dropped down to 35 last two. And then Ezra Elliott got quite a little bit of the opposite. He started at 35 and moved up to 45. He's definitely the bigger guy. You see it in the face-offs, a little bit bigger, but he missed weight by 1.5 pounds. A little bit concerning, obviously short notice for both guys. So that's one thing. The other thing is, the way I see this fight is like, it's two grapplers. If you watch tape, both these guys love to grapple. Now, Elliott is the much better wrestler. I don't even think it's close. Very, very good wrestler. I think he was a state champion in Illinois before he moved out to Arizona, started training out here. But he was a state champion. You could see he's a very good wrestler. His shots are really good. They're fast. He chain wrestles pretty well. And then, his jiu-jitsu is really good. I believe he was an ADCC champion, like a regional champion, here in North America somewhere. He's got good jiu-jitsu. You could tell, his best stuff are basically his front chokes and his, getting to your back and getting those rear naked chokes. He's really good at those. Damian Anderson, on the other hand, a very, very high level grappler as well. A guy that's competed on, the UFC Fight Pass, BJJ stuff that they do, Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, fought. Not fought, but he grappled some of the best guys. Andrew Tackett, Kolabate, some of the really, really good grapplers out there. And he's more of a, obviously a no-gi grappler. I think both guys seem to be no-gi grapplers. Damian is more focused on leg locks, knee bars, going for that kind of stuff. Ezra is more about control and trying to get to your back, stuff like that, right? So a little bit different in that sense. I kind of feel like the jiu-jitsu cancels out for the most part. I don't think either guy's going to sub the other one, honestly. I think they both know what they're doing on the mat. But the thing that I like most about this fight for Ezra is I think he gets to dictate where he wants this fight to play out, right? Let's say it's getting sketchy on the feet. He's getting touched up. He's not feeling comfortable. Well, I think he can take Damian Anderson down anytime he wants. I think he's the better wrestler by a mile. So he can use that. Now, let's say he's the one winning the striking and feeling comfortable there. I don't think Damian Anderson is going to have a lot of success taking Ezra down. So that's how why I edge to Ezra Elliott here, because I guess he can dictate where he wants the fight to go if he's feeling uncomfortable anywhere. But the question marks with Ezra is kind of the cardio, in my opinion. Like, it's really not much tape out there to say, yeah, this guy can go, 3 hard rounds, right? Every single one of his wins as a professional have been in round one, have not even hit the 4-minute mark in round one. So we don't really know how he's going to look when there's adversity, when he can't get takedowns, when whatever, things are not going his way. What's his cardio going to look like? I don't really know. I think it's going to be fine just from watching him. It seems like he trains hard. It seems like, his cardio is going to be on point. This guy's training at the lab before. I think he trains with O'Malley now at Red Hawk. But, man, this is a close matchup. It really is. There's a lot of guessing involved because we don't even know what Ezra Elliott's striking looks like. He doesn't strike much in many of these fights. It's all grappling, from 20 seconds in. So we don't really know what his striking looked like. I think he looks comfortable on the feet. He's going to be longer, obviously, from what I've seen. So I think close fight and split 6-1. I was kind of surprised to see that. I think more so being that I think the books think this is going to end because both guys are finishers, but also the books are not taking into account that, both guys have never been finished either. Yeah, obviously they're undefeated. They've never lost. But I think both guys know what they're doing with jiu-jitsu, so it could cancel out. And this fight could just be a striking matchup where I don't think either guy is like a huge favorite on the feet. And it just goes to decision and it's close. So 6-1 and split for me. Yeah, I lean the Ezra side though at plus money. Moving on, fight number 2. It is in the flyweight division. It is 6-1 Anna Melisano versus the 9-4 Deanny Barbosa. And currently Barbosa is a minus 625 favorite with the comeback on Crutchfield at plus 450 or Melisano, whatever you want to call her. This is a fight where I don't see how Barbosa is not going to sub this girl, man. This girl's sub defense looks bad. Barbosa is very, very good on the mat. Every single UFC fight, I have a stat, pretty interesting. She has attempted at least one submission in every single UFC fight that she's been in. So to me, that's a big plus for her. She's facing girls that are much better grapplers. You're talking about Karine Silva, Melissa Gatto, Miranda Maverick. Karakate's not great, but she knows how to get out of submissions. The other two girls that don't know how to get out of submissions, Deanny Balbita and Reen Guerrero, she subbed them both, right? I think Melisano probably is in the same boat as Balbita, to be honest. That's how bad she is on the mat. I think she's going to get subbed here. The problem is, what am I going to give you? This sub price that's plus 105? I think that's what it is. Yeah. Best price is plus 105 on FanDuel on Barbosa. The thing is, I don't know if it's going to be round 1, round 2, round 3. I have no idea. I know she slows down Barbosa, but I think she's fixed her cardio problems, to be honest. She looked fine in round 3 last time out against Gatto. She won clearly round 3, and she was comfortable on top and everything. So I think she's going to cruise here, man. Anna shouldn't be in the UFC. She just went to Tough and lost her first fight and got finished in 3 minutes. Like, why the hell is she getting called up to the UFC? So give me Barbosa sub plus 105. It's a shitty number, but I think she's going to get it done. Honestly, I think this step down in grappling is very, very big for her compared to going from Gatto to, to those type of girls that are really, really good grapplers to a girl that's probably a blue belt. Yeah, keep talking to yourself, Tim.
Sorry about that. Rookie mistake. Yeah, we see this one the same way. I think Anna is an absolute fish on the ground, and just a question of really when does Barbosa decide to grapple at this point. Barbosa's great. She's got great judo as well as jiu-jitsu, so she can get body lock and then just toss her. I think she's got more physicality as well. So I think Melisano's like also very. She tries to get people in the clinch as well. Like she tries to bully them in some of the fights that I saw, and it's just not going to be working in this fight. It's just a terrible matchup for her. So yeah, sub 1, sub 2 for me. I don't think this fight sees round 3.
Yeah, very well could end in the first couple of rounds. I can't disagree with you there. Moving on. It's in the heavyweight division. It is the 5-0 RJ Harris versus the 7-1 Alvin Hines. And currently Hines minus 125 with the comeback and Harris plus 105. Tim, two heavyweights. A little bit sloppy on the sloppy side, but what can you cook here?
This is for sure on the sloppy side. Yeah, Hines is going to be having to make up some serious size differential here. 4 inches shorter, 6-inch reach disadvantage. Just Harris is a massive dude. Young also for heavyweights. I'll start off with Hines. I think that he's coming off of steroid suspension. Never some big questions with fighters that do that. His last fight with Denise, everybody was so happy that they got their GTDs and overs because he survived, and giving this guy just mad credit for pretty much getting his ass kicked in that fight and staying durable. But again, how much was the cardio and how much was the durability, the sauce, and how much wasn't, remains to be seen. I think he's probably going to have some success with some calf kicks in this fight, or some, not necessarily calf kicks, but just like kicks in general. Probably a little bit more volume, but he's just extremely hittable. And I think that RJ is probably going to have some chances to counter him coming in and keep him at distance. I think the wrestling and physicality, I'm not sure who's physically stronger here. We shall see on that. I think that I just think it's going to be a close fight, and I think it's going to be, I'm really not sure on this one, honestly. I'm going to go with end split at plus 650, Harris by decision at plus 500, and Harris by split at 16-1. I think he's got some advantages just with the size, and I think he'll be able to, defend some of the shots a little bit better, defend the takedown attempts from Hines. Hines was 1 for 10 and wasn't able to hold down Denise, so I don't think that he's going to get very much, grappling and wrestling success here. So yeah, give me end split, and then the trifecta with Harris points and Harris split.
Yeah, I mean, I think both these guys are not good, but man, watching Harris, he stinks, man. He literally stinks. I don't think he's good at anything outside of being just big. Super slow, super plotty. Just no real game, honestly. I don't even know what his game is. Is it jiu-jitsu? Is it wrestling? Is it fucking striking? I don't even know. And he doesn't look good. When I see Harris in these fights, man, and he's probably, watching him against last fight against Philip Latu, right? Philip Latu is not even supposed to be a heavyweight. He came in there looking really out of shape, sloppy. He had his shorts hiked up to his neck, way smaller than RJ Harris, had a lot of success landing shots on Harris, calf kick on Harris. I mean, that calf kick couldn't miss on him. And Harris cage pushed him a little bit, but Latu even reversed him against the cage, just some bad looks, honestly, from RJ Harris. Then you look at the fight against Cleveland, he was kind of getting his ass beat early in that fight. Cleveland was putting it on him. And then in second round, Cleveland kind of gassed, and Harris kind of got on top and just took over and got him with an Americana. I really don't know what to make of this guy. I don't think he's good. He started MMA very, very late, 3 years ago. This guy started MMA 3 years ago, super, super late. I just feel like Alvin Hines is going to be a lot faster, a lot more athletic. He's fought in the UFC already, so he has UFC experience. He was training for a fight. RJ Harris coming in on short notice here. I know I put up the weigh-in thread on X, and Hines did look soft. He did look, off the roids for sure. Didn't look great. But he pushes through. He's tough. I think both guys are super, super tough, by the way. Very, very good chins from both guys. I think both guys will get tired here. I don't see it could be one of those, you say it sometimes, like it's going to look very sloppy after 7.5 minutes, man. And I feel like that's this fight right there. It's going to look so sloppy after 7.5 minutes. I could see Alvin putting himself in a front choke. RJ Harris does go for these standing guillotines all the time, every fight. He got it finally against Latu, but he goes for him a lot. I don't think he's going to get it on Hines. Like Hines, short, stocky, thick neck. He probably could just get out of it. You know what I'm saying? I just went with GTD here. It's like almost 2-1. I don't have a side. I don't know. Both these guys stink, honestly. They're not good fighters. I lean Hines. I think he's the better overall fighter, better overall wrestler, faster striker, just a lot more nimble to me than RJ Harris, you know. So I lean his side, but I don't like he came in at 264.5, gained 5 pounds, looks to add a lot of fat to his body. Not just, you know, off the roids. If he didn't pop and he was just back regular and he looked the same, I'd probably bet him. I don't trust him now. Maybe his durability is going to be less. Maybe his cardio is going to be less. You know what I'm saying? It's like a guessing game now. He's not on that shit. So, yeah, not much else. What do we have in chat? Oh, Dixon says it's Connor Burks. Yeah, actually, it looks like Connor Burks. RJ Harris looks like Connor Burks. Let's see. Buck and Bucker says, let's go. Let's narco cash those tickets. Yes, sir. Melisano is a purple belt. Yeah, in her dream, she's one of those fake purple belts, dude. She's awful.
It's albino. She's an albino belt.
She's fucking awful on the mat. All right. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 8-3 Stuart Nicoll versus the 12-3 Eldon Coria, and Korea's up to minus 1100, Tim, with the comeback on Nicoll at plus 725. I mean, like, Stuart Nicoll stinks, man. I said it last time. I'll say it again. I said it against Rocha. I've been betting against this guy in every fight, and I'm here again to do it again. Not the money line, but I always find a way to bet against this guy because he stinks. He's not a good striker. He's not a good wrestler. He's not UFC level, honestly. Even when you watch his regional tape, he stinks. So Eldon Coria is a really good prospect, really good striker. He can grapple. He can do everything. You know, it's Joshua Van's main training partner. I just went with KO 2-3. It's plus 310. It's good enough for me. Korea's a slow starter. Stuart Nicoll is kind of a fast starter that falls off a cliff later in fights. He looks exhausted in rounds 2 and 3. And I think Coria is just going to, you know, he needs to make a statement here, get this guy out of there. It's a perfect matchup to get him out of there, honestly. It's a showcase matchup for him. He's a minus 1100 favorite. If he doesn't get Stuart Nicoll out of there in rounds 2 and 3, I don't know. It's going to be like, a lot of people are going to be saying that Coria just plays with his food then, because Nicoll just doesn't look good later in fights. You know, Rocha should have probably finished him, and he was close to, but he didn't. And Nicoll was falling all over the place in round 3. It was hilarious. So, yeah, I mean, 2-3 KO plus 310. I don't think he's going to sub Nicoll. I think he's going to knock him out. Tim?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I think that is more live than I think you do. Just from a more of a like club and sub scenario, I don't think it's going to be a process grappling at all. He has no reason to grapple with this dude. I think it's more just kind of like front choke after Stewart's probably concussed and puts his head in there and just takes the easier route out and taps. But I would lean KO like you do, but I do think that the front choke is going to be live in the second and third round when he starts to get really tired and beat up. So I would take the round 2, round 3 props. They're horrible. So I think they're bad. They're terrible lines, but you want to get a little bit greasier with it, you can take a shot on the KO2 or KO2, KO3, or the sub 2-3, whichever you like more. But I do think that the sub is a little bit more live than you do from just a gas standpoint, and taking the easy route out and just putting his neck in a bad spot instead of getting hit another 50 times.
Yeah, I mean, Maybe that happens. I mean, I can't say it's impossible to happen, right? I just feel like it's going to be KO. I just feel like I think Coria would be smart not to mess around with the grappling. Like, you don't need to. Like, you have a massive, massive edge, kind of like what Rocha did. Rocha knew he had a massive edge on the feet, just kept it on the feet, just kept beating his ass.
Yeah, I lean KO for sure. I'm just saying I think it's a little bit more live than what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. Dixon, I just put the right there. I just put it. It's DC 25% off. There you go. Since you asked, I put a discount code right there. 25% off. Join the Discord because of Dixon. I didn't want to do it, but he made me do it. Marcus, what's up, my man? I am Saturday. Best of luck, fellas. What's up? Thank you for joining. All right, Tim. Next fight. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 10-2 Felipe Franco versus the 5-0 Levi Rodrigues Jr. And currently, sign keeps coming down. -141 on Levi Rodrigues with the comeback on Franco at +121. What do you got here? Is it you?
Yeah, this is me. I think that this is a interesting fight just because you get these guys that I think they both suck, to be honest. They both fought, same opponent, Freddie Vidal, who's getting ready to go teach gym class in elementary school or whatever he does. And they had some different results, obviously, with how they fought him. So I think everybody's jumping on the MMA math train on this one and saying, oh, Levi knocked him out easily and Felipe gets subbed by this dude in round 3. But, I mean, if you watch the Franco fight versus Vidal, I mean, he death gassed, but, I mean, he owned him for the first, I'd say 12 minutes of that fight before he just dies and has a coronary in that fight. And thank you to Vidal on that fight also, because I had pre-flop, I had a sub bet on Franco, and then I bet like massive lines on Vidal and going into the third round. I just think that this fight's, Levi to me has just pretty big power. He's coming off a steroid suspension himself, which is funny because if you looked at these two guys and said one of these guys popped for steroids, I don't think that you would pick Rodrigues would be the guy that popped for steroids. He looks a little bit flabby. I think, like I said, Rodrigues has some massive power in his hands, so I think Franco has to worry about that. But I think there's not any real like predictive data that I saw on Levi's grappling at all and wrestling at all. So I think it's a huge unknown. And to me, I just think that I'm going to go back to the well with the Franco sub. And I think he's probably going to maybe get hit once or twice in this fight and then say, let's try to see what else I can do here. I think if he's smart, he tries to grapple, but you never know how that goes, obviously. But Franco sub is +550. I would lean, earlier rounds, but I think it could happen in any round. So yeah, +550 for sub for a guy that I think has, a decent amount of wrestling and jiu-jitsu advantages in this fight, just from the unknowns on Rodrigues.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised how big Franco was at face-offs, man. He's fucking thick and huge. Looks in much better shape even than his Dana White's Contender Series fight. He looked really, really good at, and obviously I didn't want to compare the last fight. The last fight was at heavyweight. This fight, he's coming back down to 205. Looked really, really good on the scales. Thick, muscular, bigger than Rodrigues at face-offs. But I have information here. I got information for you guys. Something that hasn't been found out up until recently by me. Stalking IGs and stuff like that. And about a year ago, right? Because Levi Rodrigues, by the way, he's a blue belt. He turned blue belt like a year and a half ago, right? He's at the same gym as Gene Matsumoto, and it's inside. I think it's called something Muay Thai. I forgot what it might be inside Muay Thai, something like that. But he trains there, dude. And I see a clip, and I'm like, what's going on in this clip? And and it's in Brazilian, Portuguese, right? And I look at the, I translate it, and dude, it's Gene Matsumoto sparring Levi Rodrigues, bro, and he fucking double legs him, picks him up over his head, slams him, and mounts him. I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? And in the caption, it says 42 kilograms lighter. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So, like, I watched and my eyes open. I'm like, how the fuck did Matsumoto just go in on this guy, get his legs, just pick him up and slam him, bro, and is in full mount on his ass? And I'm like, man, this is a huge red flag. And the one thing I've been saying about Levi Rodrigues is he has a ton of power in his hands. That's no doubt about it. Like, I'm not going to question that part of him. He does have a lot of power. He touches people, they're going to sleep. They're getting hurt. And he has a ton of power. The problem I had with watching his tape is every single guy he faced was a Muay Thai guy, was a striker. Every single one of them. And if you go back to that Jose Carlos Lima fight, he was hurt so fucking bad in that fight. He was hurt, shelling up on the ropes. I had a bet on Jose Carlos Lima there, like +2 something. And he was beating the shit out of Rodrigues. And then Rodrigues caught him with a counter and hurt him and then proceeded to finish him right after that, right? So the thing is, he hasn't faced grapplers whatsoever. And then I see this fucking clip on IG of him getting mounted by Gene Matsumoto and just kind of tossed over. And I'm like, all right, this has got to be fucking Felipe Franco by sub. It has to be. It must be. I mean, it's +5. I think you could have got 570 on Bet 105. I saw it there at that price. I played a little bit of that. But I also wouldn't be shocked if he ground and pounds him, where this guy doesn't even know what to do. If he what happens when Franco gets his back and flattens him out, right? That's the other scary part. It could be ground and pound KO. But I'm going to go with sub. It's a better number. Yeah, I mean, Rodrigues could definitely knock out Franco. Don't get me wrong. He hits hard. But after what I saw, and I have question marks already about this guy's, jiu-jitsu and grappling. And if you go back and watch the Vidal fight, he was held on the cage for like over 2 minutes, like just being held there. His arm was controlled. And he looked like he was panicking, honestly. Like he was making these faces along the cage. Just Vidal was just holding him. Franco, early on when he has cardio, is a much better grappler even than Vidal, So, yeah, I mean, sub for me too, Tim. +570. It was Bet 105. I think it went down a little, but still a good, I think probably the best price out there. Let's move on. Next fight. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 10-2 John Paul Lebosnoyani versus the 13-2 Seok Hyun Ko. Currently, Ko, I think this price went down even more. Yeah, -175 with the comeback on JPL at +150. I will kick this one off. I think this is a close fight. I said it all week. I said it in my breakdown. I said the line was a little bit too wide. I get it. Ko is a smart fighter. Ko is a very good wrestler, very good control on top. Has solid striking, nothing special, but pretty solid in the striking, kind of low volume, but he's solid. Just a well-rounded fighter, good fight IQ. But I think this matchup is a lot different than his previous two. JPL, a little bit more dynamic of a striker, has a great kicking game. His fleet of foot, he moves around as well. But the thing with JPL that's much different than the last two guys is, one, I think he has a much better jiu-jitsu game than both those guys. I think he has a better get-up game than both those guys. And I think he's going to give Ko, honestly, problems. He's not going to just let Ko, control him, lay on top of him. I just don't see that. I don't see that happening in this fight. I see JPL working. I see JPL maybe threatening Ko with front chokes potentially, to make him think twice about shooting on him. And then on the feet, I kind of lean JPL here. I think he has like a little bit better weapons. He has those kicks that are really good. He fights out of both stances really well. I think he can, honestly, I think he can kick Co's leg out of the southpaw stance, if he wants. Co is kind of more reliant on his straight left. He does have some okay kicks as well, but I just think this fight's close, and I think this fight probably goes to decision at a high clip. I think both guys are pretty durable. I mean, JPL is very durable in my opinion. Co, he's been knocked out twice. He's been hurt in another fight where he won. A little bit questionable with his chin. I don't think it's great. It hasn't been tested at all in the UFC because he's had two guys that he's ragdolled for, I don't know, 30 minutes of the fight. He's probably controlled them for 27. You know what I'm saying? There's maybe been 3 minutes of stand-up in those fights. So it's still a question for me, his chin. I'm not saying JPL is like some big hitter. I don't think he's a big hitter. His power probably comes from his kicks. But I'm going to go JPL decision, Tim. It's 5-1. I think that's too big, honestly. I mean, I get it. Co probably a better minute winner as far as on the ground. I don't think he's the better minute winner on the feet, though. I think JPL is the better minute winner on the feet. I think he throws more volume on the feet. So, yeah, I lean JPL here, and I'm going to take the decision at 5-1.
Yeah, I can't hate it. I think I think both these guys are interesting stylistic matchups for each other. This is a really good fight in general. I think that for me, I think that the Co side is where I got to, because I just think that the grappling is the wrestling is pretty big advantage for him here. I think Jean Paul has shown in fights that he kind of plays off his back a little bit. He's been taken down. He's willing to go for chokes and things like that. I think if he doesn't sub him with those chokes, it's just going to put him. It's going to put him in pretty bad spots. And Co's shown against Rowe's not that impressive because he gets taken down by everybody and held down by everybody. But like Oban Elliott fight for me was just very impressive because Oban has shown Preston Parsons fight was like a really good kind of example of his improvements from Cage Warriors to here on his grappling, because in Cage Warriors he had been grappled a bunch, and I tried to fade him with Parsons in that fight, thinking he was physical enough to be able to get him down and kind of rape him on the ground, but that never happened. And Co just made it look fucking easy. I think that just shows kind of his physicality. I think he's got a pretty decent physicality edge here, and I think maybe I'm going to go with, I do agree with you that I think that the most likely path is a decision for this fight, but I'm going to go that Co cooks JPL late in this fight. Round 2 is plus 950. Round 3 is plus 1400. Would lean ground and pound situation, but I'll just take those big lines. I think you could have him having some situations where I just don't know about how JPL is going to deal with being put on his back a bunch, and how he's going to respond. I'm basically going on that. I think also Co has shown decent ground and pound in his fights. When he gets on top, he's not just laying and praying. So yeah, give me a shot at the late round props for Co.
Yeah, I mean, it could have happened. We see JPL kind of slowed down against Rowe. But yeah, we'll see what happened here on the side. JPL. Yeah, JPL split is not bad either, honestly. I don't know what it is, but it's probably huge.
Probably like 14-1.
All right, let's move on, Tim. Next fight, it is in the featherweight division. It is the 11-2 Jose Delgado versus the 14-1 Austin Bashi. And currently Bashi, he's up to minus 120 to come back on Delgado at plus 100. You kick us off here. Great matchup with two prospects.
Yeah, another stylistic matchup that I love. Fight's kind of binary in my opinion. I think that Delgado has some really good strikes, dangerous fighter on the feet, fought really close with Wood and Feely. I think either one of those fights, you could make the argument that he won against Wood. And I think you can make the argument that maybe he lost against Feely. So both were close fights. So I'm not screaming robbery on either one, but I actually had a decision prop on Wood, so I was happy that he lost that one. Yeah, I think that this fight for me comes down to just it's a passion of mine to have money on guys that are one-dimensional fighters that go after their one thing, and if they don't get that thing going, they're probably going to get killed. And for me, the Bashi side and what he looked like against Christian Rodrigues, I thought that fight, what I remembered from it before I rewatched it was, I was like, oh, this was such a great bet on Rodrigues by decision, and just Rodrigues in general, just to wait around live for him. And the fight was closer, and I think Bashi had more success than I remembered going into it. And I just think Bashi's just a very, very good prospect. Like he just has that style where he's got cardio, he's got insane strength, huge wrestling, good control, great back takes. And I just think that Delgado is a guy that his striking style is going to put him off balance and put him into range. He's not going to be, just off of his back foot trying to just stay at range and dance around. He's going to go into the fire. He's going to throw knees, which is, if he doesn't catch him with the knee, which he might, that knee is going to be caught and then taken down. And Bashi ate like a flush knee to the face versus C-Rod and just kept fighting right through it. So he looks pretty durable to me. And I think Delgado's tendency to give up his back and get ups is going to haunt him in this fight. So I'm taking Bashi by sub at plus 500. I boosted it on FanDuel, got it up to 750. So I was happy about that. So I put a bet on that earlier, and I think that the back take to sub is live here for Bashi.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. I think I said this on my breakdown too. I think Bashi's like championship material. Honestly, I think he can get there. He's very young, 24. I mean, obviously not now, but I think this is a kid that can improve and improve and improve, and absolutely get to the top. Whether he wins or not, I don't know, but he's really good. I mean, I think his striking's improving. I think this kid has elite cardio. I know people are not going to think that after watching the C-Rod fight, but, you got to take in consideration this guy's, 22, 23 years old, UFC debut versus probably, I said this also, one of the best scramblers in the UFC in C-Rod. That's a very, very hard matchup for a young guy like this to come in and face C-Rod, and he took C-Rod's back 2 different times. It's just that C-Rod's so good at scrambling, getting out of these positions, like almost there isn't a single soul that can kind of hold him down the entire fight. Nobody does. He scrambles, he He makes you work, gets you tired, and then takes over. So I just thought it was a very bad matchup for him there against C-Rod. Now he gets to fight Jose Delgado, who's, not an easy matchup at all. Jose Delgado is a very good striker, has those intercepting knees. He's very, very long, has a ton of power, right? Way more power than C-Rod. That's the one thing here. He's going to have way more power than C-Rod. But the thing that I see with Jose Delgado is I just don't think his takedown defense is very good. It's not very good. I don't think his scrambling game is very good. I hate that he gives up his back in every single matchup that he goes to get up. I hate that Makate was able to slice through him like butter, mounts, arm triangle, a lot of shit. He was, I get it. Makate's a good wrestler, but I don't think he's a great MMA wrestler, honestly, because I went back. I remember the fight against the UFC guy. What's that guy that just got knocked out or submitted by the Australian guy? I had a bet on him. God, he's from here. He's from Arizona. God, he's the Colombian dude. Why am I drawing a blank on him? But he stuffed almost all of Makate's takedown. Makate couldn't take him down. And here we are seeing him just ragdoll Delgado all over the place. Austin Bashi's a very good MMA wrestler. I'm telling you, he might not have the credentials as high school champion or college this, college that, but he is a very, very good MMA wrestler. He's a chain wrestler, but he's a much better submission grappler than a guy like Mikate. So I think Jose Delgado, Jose Reyes, that guy, the guy Reyes, he got knocked out, or he almost got knocked out by the Australian guy, awfully. He couldn't really take Reyes down, and now, like I said, Mikate was just ragdolling Delgado. So I think Bashi's going to be able to get a lot of takedowns here. I think he gets to the back here. He looks in phenomenal shape. The only concern for me is those knees up the middle. Those are concerning because, Delgado's a lot longer than C-Rod. He gets them up. His timing is very good with them. And then C-Rod, he landed one on Bashi, He took it well. I think this guy's very, very tough, but you don't want to take too many of those. That's the thing. So, I like it. I like that Bashi sub. It's, I think, 5. I got 528 on Kalshi. I think that was the best number, but yeah. What do we got here? Lucrative James, my man James. What's up, man? Afternoon walk and Lambo plays in the headphones. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for joining. It's not coming home, but Bashi's winning this probably. Yeah, I think he's winning. I think he might sub him, honestly. I really do. I know Delgado's at the MMA lab, but he might get subbed here, honestly. I don't like every single time how this guy gives up his back. It's just not good. He did it to Connor Matthews, got his back, against the fence. Just some bad looks. All right, let's move on. Next fight. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 11-1 Alberto Montes versus the 10-0 Tommy McMillen. Currently, McMillen has blown out to a -171 favorite and a comeback on Montes at +146. I don't necessarily disagree with the odds moving because I kind of favor McMillen. I think the odds went a little too far. I will say that. I'm not a McMillen guy. This guy is going to get faded. Guaranteed. I tried to fade him with the Italian dude last time. It didn't work out.
Linguini,
but he was Fettuccine Linguini was like +1,000 or whatever, right? Yeah. That's why I bet him. Fettuccine Linguini. Yeah, that's a good nickname. But this guy's going to get faded. But Montes is just not it, man, for me. Like, this guy's he's a submission merchant, man. Like, front Darce, Anaconda, and his striking is better than Tommy's. His grappling is probably, his jiu-jitsu is probably better than Tommy's. But Tommy's a way better wrestler. And Tommy has all the intangibles in this fight, dude. Like, he's way more durable. He has way more dog in him. He's got better cardio. You watch Montes, how he's backing up, shelling up. He looked fucking awful, honestly, in Dana White Contender Series up until he got the sub. The dude from Colorado was working him early. You know what I'm saying? And if Tommy is smart, he just keeps this upright, just pressure, man. If I'm Tommy and I'm his team, pressure this guy, back him up, just keep throwing the kitchen sink and he'll break. Alberto Montes is going to break if Tommy McMillen is smart. So I'm going to go with McMillen round 2, +500, round 3, +850. But more importantly, I like KO 2-3 at 1,000 and 1,700. Tim?
Yeah, we see this one the same. I think Montes is not going to be able to really have success grappling in this fight. I think Tommy would be stupid to try to grapple him, and I don't necessarily know that Tommy's an intelligent fighter, but if he just, for me, it's like he hasn't shot takedowns in like the last 3 fights that I watched him fight. Like, he hasn't even gone for takedowns. Like, the submission in the McGoyan fight in Dana White Contender Series was super fucking deep too. And like I thought he was out. Like, I thought this was done, and he somehow got out of it, and then just kept fighting through it, and kept just basically kind of woke him up almost. Like you said, I totally agree. Like, McMillen for me is going to be a guy that I'm really trying to fade. looking going forward. So I hope he wins this in convincing fashion so that we just keep getting, some pretty big lines on this guy going forward. His striking defense is just terrible. And so, yeah, he's a fade in the future, but I just think Montes for me is going to be on his back foot trying to counter and wants a clean fight and wants a very neat situation. And when he's in the octagon, and I just don't think that he's going to get that here. I think he could counter Tommy. I think he could catch him because just of how hittable Tommy is. But like you said, I just think that after the first round and you just sees this guy just foaming at the mouth, just, on the break on the stool, and then he sees him coming at him again, and he sees him coming at him again. I think eventually attritionally he gets him out of there. So I just went safe. I went round 2, round 3. I didn't do the KO with 2-3. I think it's good enough for just the round 2, round 3, just in case some tomfoolery happens.
Yeah, Tim, what's that dude that was a big underdog that just won maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago? He kind of looks like Montes, the kickboxer. You know what I'm talking about? He's a kickboxer.
Few weeks ago, you said?
Yeah, like maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's a kickboxer. He was a dog, and he won the fight. God, who was it? The chat's gonna know. They're good. I suck with names, dude. I'm horrible with names. But he's a kickboxer that it was a fight night card, and he ended up beating a guy a grappler, I believe. No, Bolanos, Gaston Bolanos.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you
Jesus.
know? Did you know Gaston Bolanos, Alberto Montes, and Elliott Topuria all brothers? Do you know that? All 3 of them are brothers. Montes, Bolanos, and Topuria, all brothers. You guys didn't know that. See, I just taught you guys something new. All right. Let's move on. They literally look alike. Moving on to the strawweight division here. It is the 12-4 Tabitha Ricci versus the 9-1 Fatima Kline. And Kline is a minus 470 favorite now, with the comeback on Ricci at plus 370. Tim, lotion time.
Oh, that's 100%. Absolutely. Push it. Make sure you buy big bottles, get the discounts. Yeah, I mean, this fight for me is kind of like, I think Fatima's a very, very good fighter. I think that Ricci has shown her flaws in these fights. And this fight to me is just, I just don't see the edges that Ricci's going to have. I just don't really see like even an edge that she has, to be honest. Like, I think that the grappling is Fatima. I think the striking is Fatima. I think the length is Fatima. Like, I just think that she's better all the way around. And I just think that this is a tough matchup for Ricci to do any damage or to be able to have success in the clinch, things like that. She's gonna put herself at risk trying to get into range. I think Fatima's good in the clinch as well. I think if there's grappling or fight hits the ground, I think Fatima has better jiu-jitsu. So yeah, to me, it's a late round prop for Fatima here. Round 2, 11-1, round 3, 15-1. I think she can cook her on the feet. I think she could sub her late as well. Sub 2-3 is like 27-1 and 35-1. I could definitely see a club and sub scenario, but I like this. I just like the round 2, round 3 Fatima, and I wouldn't be shocked if she even like gave her the similar head kick scenario that she got Martinez with in this fight. I just think she's very slick with her striking. So yeah, give me round 2, round 3 for Fatima here.
Pass. I don't want nothing to do with this fight, honestly. I think Fatima wins, but I don't think she finishes. I just see ho-hum maybe decision where she kind of wins easily. Her decision line is like juiced to the moon. It's minus 200, minus 175. So honestly, I just don't see Ricci winning this fight. Like, I just feel like Fatima Much bigger, much longer, much better striker. Only way Ricci wins is she's got to rinse and repeat takedowns, and I just don't see it. Like, even Jasmine couldn't kind of hold her down. Like, she still worked out of some certain positions.
She got reversed.
I don't see Ricci doing that to her. You know, Ricci's and that was at 125 too. So yeah, I kind of just think this is an easy Kline win, but I'm not running to the window to bet 500 on WMMA. And I don't really see any like props that I like. Like, I don't even think, like, I'm looking at this. Her KO is 5-1 only. It's disgusting. Like, maybe she subs Ricci, but I doubt it. I mean, you look at how much control what's her name had, and she didn't even get a sub attempt on her. I don't think it happens, honestly. Maybe a club and sub is how it
that's what I would think would happen.
That's the only way. Yeah. What do we got here? Big Marley, what's up, my man? Thank you for joining. Big Marley in the house. Okay, let's move on. Next one, it is a fight in the lightweight division. It is the 8-3 Mitch Ramirez versus the 16-5-1 Chase Hooper. And currently Chase Hooper's minus 370 with the comeback on Ramirez at plus 295. I will kick this one off. I mean, could Chase sub Ramirez? Sure. You know, that's his game, right? To get a sub and potentially win. But man, Chase Hooper being a minus 400 favor is disgusting against anybody, man. This guy is not to be trusted. I don't think the UFC cares about him much anymore, to be honest. He's coming off 2 back-to-back KO losses. They gave him a fight in Gibson in his hometown in Seattle, and he fumbled the bag very, very badly. Mitch Ramirez, on the other hand, he hasn't looked good in the UFC. Don't get me wrong. He's had 2 fights. Both, the first one was definitely very short notice against Thiago Moises, and I don't know what to take from that fight. I mean, yeah, he got his back taken, got a rear naked choke in, almost finished, but he got his leg destroyed in that fight. Like, he couldn't even walk, from leg kicks. It's not, I mean, he's a completely different fighter, Thiago Moises than Chase Hooper. And then you look at the Davis fight, and honestly, yeah, round 1, it wasn't good. He got his back taken again, rear naked choke in. But round 2, he landed a lot of good strikes on Mike Davis, man. Many, many good strikes. And the one thing I could tell you with Mitch Ramirez is he can strike out of both stances, southpaw, orthodox. You see it in his fights. And if he's smart, and if I'm in his corner, I'm like, listen, Mitch, you're coming out southpaw against Chase Hooper, and you're blasting that lead leg of his. Chase Hooper has no idea how to check calf kicks. His legs are twigs, and Mitch Ramirez kicks very freaking hard. I mean, he has a leg kick KO. In that fight against against Holloway, where he got the leg kick KO, Holloway got his lead leg blasted when he was orthodox. He switched to southpaw, and Mitch Ramirez started blasting his lead leg southpaw. He made him switch back, and then he knocked him out with a leg kick, right? So I think he could definitely destroy Hooper's legs. Where, you know what Hooper's going to do, Tim? He's going to hit him on the leg with one of these big kicks, and Hooper's going to fall on his back and twirl around with his legs, trying to fucking, somehow engage him in the grappling, or he's going to pull guard, or he's going to do something stupid. The only thing that worries me that with Mitch Ramirez is the fact that he's flat-footed and he throws really, really hard with his shots. He could end up throwing big shots in a clinch and end up on, but man, he's going to be so much stronger than Chase, bro. Way stronger than Chase, in my opinion. Just the physicality edge is big. I mean, Mitch Ramirez fought at 170, go back and watch. It's funny. It's Dana White's Contender Series fight, dude. He picks up Carlos Prates and just slams him on the ground, dude. Prates is a big 70 pounder. He's a tall, big guy. He just picks him up and slams him at 170. Yeah, I mean, how could you lay this price with Hooper? I mean, minus 400. Like, I can't do it. I'm going I'm going with a different one here. I'm going with KO1 Mitch Ramirez at 11-1. I think he swings hard. I think he has a lot of power. He's a 70-pounder. Chase Hooper, when he gets knocked out, it's always in round one. Steve Garcia, round one. Alex Hernandez, round one. Lance Gibson, round one. So when he gets finished and knocked out, it's round one. And Mitch Ramirez has power. I'm going to take the 11-1 here on Mitch Ramirez by KO1. You?
Yeah, I can't hate it. I mean, you made some seriously good points, and I wanted to, like, I might, as the fight, I don't think I'm going to have a bet on this fight. I'm pretty sure, but I may tell you on that because it's a big line. I would probably maybe go small on KO2 with him as well, just to if he survives it. But I agree 100% that Chase, like, he's got like I'm at, like, it's an approximation here. Like it's an estimate. I think he's like minus like 40 something ROI. And when he's like a favorite, like if you bet him as a favorite, like, you are losing massive amounts of money. I think he's been like a minus 300 4 times and lost. Just not a guy that you want to bet at those lines. Yeah. And this goes back to, I'm basically going back to the same thing that I said in the Bashi fight, where, like, it's a passion of mine to bet on these grapplers that have no chance striking. It's like, I don't know, the Mitch Ramirez, getting his, like, a standing back take in this situation and just getting, put on the clinch. I think, like you said, he's probably more physical, and definitely stronger, but I don't know. I'm just going to go back to the well on sub 1, sub 2 for Chase, plus 420, plus 700 with zero confidence. I do think that what you're saying is very, very, very live. Just in general, Chase has shown he's just gotten hurt in so many fights, and dropped, I think, 7 times in the UFC. I'm with you. I understand everybody that's got money line bets on Mitch taking a shot, and I understand people taking a shot on his KO because just to what they've seen in the past from Chase. I get it. I'm gonna go with the grappling upside, and even like a standing back take is possible here if he doesn't get him to the ground.
Mitch has bad fight IQ. I will tell you that. He's not very smart with his fight IQ. So I could see Chase getting him. Yeah, it's definitely live. I mean, Chase Hooper sub
For sure.
I probably wouldn't play anything else, honestly. Like,
yeah, I think that he's got, like, I don't think that obviously Moises and Davis have just way superior physicality in wrestling, but I think, like, if he gets the chokes that Moises and Davis had, I think that he'll get him out.
Yeah, I mean, he's longer. He's got longer arms, so
yeah,
it's going to be harder for Mitch to maybe peel him off, Mitch is strong, though, man. The way he got out of those chokes, I mean, they were under his chin both times.
Yeah, they were,
and he just kind of, like, pried their fucking arm off. Like, he's got to be very, very strong. You know what I'm saying? Because Davis, like Thiago Moises, like, just pure BJJ is probably better than Chase Hooper, honestly. Like, he's a world champion. Like, it's probably better, and he's probably much stronger, actually, when he gets those. The thing is, Chase is just longer. He's got long arms. So, maybe he could, like, sink it, under his neck, but then hide the other arm,
Yeah, I think the strength, I think I agree with you. With the BJJ, though, it's like, I think that Chase has got, like, insane scrambles, like his scramble ability, and, like, he's just super, super dangerous. I think he's, like, more dangerous.
Accolades wise, I think Moises has better accolades. I'd venture to guess that he has better accolades than Chase Hooper.
Yeah, no, I think, like you said, I think that he's probably a better, just, like, on paper, grappler, and I think he's more sound in, like, positionally holding positions. But I just think in scrambles, just how dangerous Chase is.
Well, he's longer. The thing is, Chase is so long. Like, he's got those long legs, long arms. He just kind of entangles people. He's probably way better than Moises with leg locks and shit like that too. Like, knee bars, leg locks, stuff like that. So anyways, let's move on. Next fight. It is the co-main event of the night. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 18-9 Jared Cannonier versus the 14-2 Christian Leroy Duncan. And currently Duncan is minus 400 to come back on Cannonier at plus 300. Tim, this one's yours.
Yeah, good fight. I think Cannonier is, to me, just he's showing just so many signs that are like he's grappling so much more now. He doesn't want to strike with these guys. He's been hurt in every single fight that I taped, including getting rocked by Vittori as well, who's just got pillow fists and never hurts anybody. And then he came back to give him a lifetime worth beatings that took probably years off of his life, but took a couple drops versus Robocop. Like, just a lot of these fights he's getting dropped and hurt badly for Cannonier. And the thing about it in this fight, I think it's definitely live that he's just way slower, and just how dynamic Christian Leroy Duncan is. I just think he's going to catch him with something eventually. And I mean, Kaio even how that wasn't a knockout and was amazing to me. Like, he was dead. So even Kaio just almost killed him. He's not really killing anybody unless it's Paul Craig. So yeah, I think eventually Christian Leroy Duncan's gonna get him out and gonna probably catch him with something dynamic. The over under on stupid spinning shit from Christian Leroy Duncan is over 45.5 on DK at even money. So, do with that what you will. I think that Duncan, to me, is like a guy that if he developed a really good jab and a functional jab, I think he could go extremely very far in this division. And I just don't know if he's going to do it. So yeah, give me round 2, round 3 for CLD plus 650 plus 900.
How many tornado spins?
Over 6.5 for sure.
Over 6.5. Yeah. Well, it could be under. And my reasoning would be he knocks out Cannonier early
in the first one. Yeah.
Otherwise, this goes the distance. I'm hammering the over on over 6.5, like literally hammering it. It'll be like 9 or 10, tornado spins. Dude, like on tape, I think this line's too wide, right? Like when I watch the tape and run it and say, well, Cannonier, yeah, for sure. He's a dinosaur now, 42 years old, has been getting hurt in all these fights, but still somehow winning rounds, dude. Like Page fight, he gets dropped in the first, gets dropped in the second, and then somehow gets a takedown, gets on top, gets even to mount, I believe, against Page, in round 3, wins round 3. Rodrigues fight 2 fights ago, getting his ass kicked bad, comes back and finishes, Gregory Rodrigues, who's honestly on a nice little trajectory here of late. That's his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 7 fight out of his last 7 fights. He's got 6 wins. His only loss was to Jared Cannonier, So even that, Tim, was a little bit over a year ago. So Jared was, let's say, 40, right? So it's still impressive. That win alone right there is still impressive at 40. I don't care that he almost got finished. He didn't, right? He came back and he finished Rodrigues. So that is impressive to me. The problem is, I do see Cannonier, he's a little bit slower. He was a little bit more explosive before. He's a little bit slower now. Timing is probably not the same at 42 now. Everything's getting a little bit slower. But the biggest thing here in this fight, honestly, is when you look at Cannonier outside of Page fight, maybe, right? Recently, he's almost always more athletic than his opponents. He's definitely not more athletic than his opponent here. CLD is way more athletic. He's way faster. He's bigger. Did you see him at face-offs, dude? He's way bigger than Cannonier, size-wise. I just think he's going to catch Cannonier, man. And if he hurts him, I think he's probably going to finish him. It's a square play, but I think CLD KO plus 175. I've been, I played KO on Michael Page. I think he's way less. Michael Page has way less power than Leroy Duncan. Leroy Duncan is a lot more dangerous when it comes to the KO than Michael Page, right? So, Rodrigues was very close to finishing him. Bahayo should have finished him. I think it's got to happen, Tim. It's one of these fights coming up, and it's probably this one. The other thing with Cannonier is I've heard bad stories. I've heard bad stories in the gym. Getting knocked out in the gym is not a good sign. Supposedly he did a interview where he's begging for money and he's broke. And I don't know what's going on with him, to be honest. I really don't know what's going on financially. It's gotta be bad. I seen the guy here. He lives not very far from me. I've seen him at the grocery store. Very super nice guy. And you would never think that this guy would would have money problems because he dresses like fucking nothing. His car's like whatever, it's not like this guy's flaunting jewelry. He might have another bad habit. Maybe he's a gambler. Maybe, I don't know. But it's crazy to hear that he's looking for money. And if you look at his career, how many fucking times this guy's had, fight of the night, performance of the night, main eventing. How the fuck are you broke, bro? It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, KO plus 175. I don't know. 42 is too old for MMA, man. And the beatings he's been taking lately are just not good at 40 years old. The Rodrigues fight, not good. The Bahayo fight, not good. The Imavov fight, he didn't take as much damage there, but still, not good. Page fight, he gets dropped a couple times, not good. It's bound to happen where he's just going to get KO'd cold. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, plus 175 for me on Duncan KO. All right, let's move on, Tim. A main event of the night. It is in the what happened here? Wait, where's my main event? Hold on a second. Tim. They goofed it up. I don't have my main event, Tim. I goofed it up. That's why. All right, here's the main event. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 21-4 Kamaru Usman versus the 23-3 Dricus du Plessis. Currently, du Plessis is a minus 230 favorite or 225 favorite with the comeback on Usman at plus 190. It's crazy how, it's come to this main event now. It's come to the champion of Africa. The one-time pound for pound, basically GOAT of MMA at one point, was Kamaru Usman. It's on a huge winning streak, just beating everybody, dominating everybody, talk of the town. And, for everybody that's great at a certain point, age catches up to you and injuries catch up to you. And he kind of declined a bit, now he's fighting up a weight class at 185. I don't think it's going to be a massive thing, honestly. I saw how much bigger Chimaev was. And, yes, he had success early, but outside of the success early, Chimaev didn't have much success because of his size and everything after that, And it's not like du Plessis is going to be just wrestling Kamaru Usman. I doubt it. It's going to be the other way around. I think if anybody's wrestling and getting takedowns, probably Kamaru Usman here. I'm not saying du Plessis can't take him down. He definitely can. Like if he just, does his obnoxious, weird fucking striking and, goes in for a takedown, he could potentially get it. He got it against Strickland, right? Strickland's hard to get down. He got him against Strickland. I wouldn't doubt if he gets Usman down. But if he gets him down, he's not going to control him. That's what I know for a fact. Usman's going to get back up. The thing is, when I watch tape, I think Usman's the better striker, technically. He really is. But you could say that about everybody that fights Dricus du Plessis, right? Strickland. You name him. Every single person has better striking than DDP. But he makes it work, dude. He's very unorthodox. He's very weird. He throws every strike is with power. Power kicks. Power jab. Power right hand. Everything is thrown with 100%. And the thing that I looked at more than anything is I thought maybe, du Plessis is going to knock him out in this fight. But when I ran tape more and more, Usman just doesn't. He's been knocked out one time in his head kick. He's very durable. He took big shots from Buckley. he took some good shots from Chimaev on the feet. You know, he's got a very, very good chin still at 39 years old. The concern is his knees. You know, we talk about that shit every time, but he looked good against Buckley, and it's probably because Buckley stinks when it comes to wrestling and on his back. But du Plessis hasn't looked great on his back either. You know, I think he can get up here. I'm not saying he's going to be holding him for the entire fight, but I just feel like mixing in takedowns itself will open up the striking for Usman, in my opinion, which will win him minutes. You know, just open up the striking, mix in takedowns, and you'll be fine. You know, it's a 25-minute fight, but I think Usman still has great cardio. I think du Plessis has, you know, pushes through with great cardio. I'm going to go with Usman by decision here at plus 425. What do you like, Tim?
Yeah, earlier in the week when I was breaking this down with Clint, I thought I was going to get to a DDP late rounds, and the more I kept thinking about it, the more I'm just like, kind of what you were saying is where it's ringing in my head. I'm just like, I just don't like Kamaru's not getting like gassed by anybody. He's not showing like gas issues. He's not showing like durability issues at any point. Du Plessis hitting a lot of guys really, really hard, and the only guys that he's getting out of there, I think DDP's got some serious power. So don't get me wrong, but I think like the guys that he's knocking out have like durability or quit issues in them or cardio issues in them. And I just don't think that that's Kamaru. And I think that Kamaru's like striking he's just going to jab him all of the time. Like he's just going to keep jabbing and jabbing and jabbing. And Dricus has been taken down by the likes of like Brad Tavares and Darren Till and like guys that fucking don't grapple and wrestle at all. And it just kind of shows that how off balance he is when he's coming into range and trying to strike, and how reckless he is in those situations. So yeah, I think that the knees narrative on Usman is something that everybody's been saying for like the last decade. And I think it's like a tired argument. The dude hasn't been able to walk upstairs for a decade now, and he's fought through it, and he seems to be pretty tough in these situations. I think that the Kazmat fight, when I watched that back, I was like, dude, if this fight was 5 rounds, I think he potentially even finishes Kazmat in that fight. Like it was not looking good, and he withstood. The round 1 was a 10-8. Like he got his ass beat, and it was just completely different fighter and fight from that point forward. So yeah, I like the Usman points, Usman split, and split here as well. I think the points is great. Split it for him is 9-1 as well. I think the judges have shown that they like DDP, and they give him some favorable cards sometimes. I think that the fight too, the only thing I'd like to add as well is like in going on the finishing, like people are talking about sub for Usman. I don't think he knows what a choke is. I don't even know if he's gone for a submission in his career. I think the fight with DDP versus Chimaev, like I think that he's going to probably get up a little bit more in this fight. I think the Chimaev fight, I thought he was a little bit concerned more about the submissions if he was going to get up than in Usman. So I think he'll probably try to get up. But that being said, I think all of his get ups are like power. They're not technical. So he's just trying to, like, he doesn't use his legs. He doesn't use his hips. It's just like, it's just all just strength. So I don't think it's going to be easy to get up from those situations just by strength against Usman. So yeah, I like the same plays as you on this one. I think we see this one similarly.
Yeah, I mean, split is probably not horrible. I didn't even look at it, but
yeah, it's plus 450, just plus 450 on end split, and then 9-1 for 9-1 for Usman by split.
Yeah, kind of shitty 450.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went through all 12 fights. It's Lambo parlay time. You guys have to cook up something again, like last week. I put one in already, like the start of the one for the people. I put a leg of Christian Leroy Duncan by KO, and then you guys could tell me what we're gonna add to that one. But let me give you my my 2 plays. One of them is Coria and McMillen 2-3. That's obviously my favorite one. You could do if you want to get more frisky, you could do KO 2-3 on each, but just 2-3 is fine. You get some decent numbers. And then the other one, Tim, this one's actually pretty good because I think it's kind of like a win condition for all three guys. It's Hooper, Bashi, and Montes all by sub. It's like 70-1. And I mean, how does Montes win? By sub. How does Bashi, normally win? Sub. How does Hooper normally win? Sub. It's 70-1. I think it's
I like that. I like that one. I almost would want to switch out Montes for Barbosa at less odds, like at 50-1.
Who?
Instead of Montes, put Bashi, Hooper, and Barbosa.
Deanne Barbosa, but she's so much. I tried to go bigger.
It's really not right. Like it's only like it's like plus 200 something.
What's Barbosa then?
Plus 105 versus like plus 250.
No.
So it's probably going to be like 45-1.
Overall? It's Barbosa, right?
Yeah.
Bashi and Hooper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's more safer.
What is that at? Like 40
It's only 31-1.
31-1. Yeah. I think that hits. Like honestly, I think that has more like legs.
I don't know if it hits, but yeah, I'll just play it. But yeah, I gave that other one and then the 2-3. What do you like?
I had 2-3 round robin with CLD and Tommy McMillen. But I'm definitely going to play yours as well.
Wait, you have what? What? Sorry.
Christian Leroy Duncan 2-3 with Tommy McMillen 2-3.
Okay.
And then I did a 2-legger. Then I added a third leg to get it to be huge. I did Bashi sub Tommy KO at 22-1, and then I added Usman points, and it's 121-1.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah. All right, what's the people's one? I got to hear what the people like because I think let me go back to it and give me 1 second. I'm trying to put this Barbosa sub blah 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 so I don't forget this because I'll do it tomorrow and I'll forget it and then I'll be pissed. Okay. All right, we got one leg. It's Duncan KO, right? What are the other legs? Give me some other legs that you guys want, and then we'll put it together. Duncan KO plus 170. Franco sub. Nah, Duncan sub, no. Plus 2,000. Nah. I don't like that one. I don't think he's subbing him. Let's see. What are people saying? No one's putting anything today. Franco KO. Oh, JPL decision. That's a good one. I like that one. Let's add JPL decision. Duncan KO. Let's get one more. What do you got? Oh, Mitch KO. We can do Mitch KO. That's huge.
Barbosa sub.
We don't want to keep doing Barbosa sub. Come on.
We only did one of her.
Huh? Yeah, but I don't want to have two parlays. They'll go down with one play. And I'll get nuked. How about Franco sub? What do you guys think of that one? Let's be JPL points, Duncan KO, Franco sub. What do you guys think of that one? That one's 102-1. 102-1 on that one. Franco fights in malls. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna play. Yeah, let's go with that one. No one's saying shit. Yeah, oh, it's Mushroom saying Franco sub. All right. Christian Leroy Duncan KO, JPL points, Felipe Franco sub, 102-1. Let's do that. Small bet. All right. Tim, Did all 12 fights, Lambo Parlays. I appreciate everybody. 377 live viewers. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment on the video once it's uploaded to YouTube. I'm going to try to put the timestamps in. Also, I did leave a link there. I don't know if it's still there, but I left the link. Dixon made me. Oh, here it is. 25% off first month. Odd Chopper, get in there, get in the Discord. We're going to go live tomorrow. We nailed live bets last week like crazy. But yeah, appreciate everybody again for being here. Tim, any parting words for the people?
Chat, we love you very much. Thanks for all your support as always. And Narco, you as well, buddy.
All right. One more thing, Tim. Let's cash those tickets for UFC OKC.